Happy birthday, Des. Hi, Simply. Good morning. We're only going to be here a second because I'm going to finish this off probably Friday, Funky Friday. But we only going to be here just for a second because I just want to drop this back out here just for a second. Oh, boy. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Just for a second. Hi, Seven. Hi, Vet. Hi. Hi, Cheryl. Hi. Hi, Miss Brown. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ga, 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 ga. Good morning, Adria. Wake up. Wake up. Good morning. Well, I'm just going to drop this out here and then I'm going to leave. Good morning, Harlem. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah. I'm just going to drop just a little piece of it back out here. That's all. That's all. Good morning. Good morning. You say good night. You going to bed? Got your coffee. I had my tea. Voila! Good morning. I'm not going to be here long because I got to make a stop before I go. I got to make a stop, y'all. But I just wanted to say, listen, let me say this. A lot of people, I mean, a lot of people, and this is going out to the people that is saying this the Don the con stuff, right? Because they done fell into the trap, the manipulating trap, the blindfold trap. They done fell into it, y'all. They done fell into it, yeah. But baby, let me say this. According to what I have, and as far as my notes and things like that, and putting them together, Chicago gonna be rough. Chicago is going to be rough. It's not gonna be that easy for Mr. Kelly. When you guys saw Don Russell come out, right? In my opinion, he came out for a specific reason. And I believe that he came out to alarm all of you people to not allow these distractions to grab hold of your mind. They will say and do any and everything. A lot of this stuff did not even happen until Don Russell, was one of those people that came out of the woodwork, gave you his stories, showed you paperwork, appeared on multiple different channels trying to see, where can he get the word out at? Where can I tell you people what's going on with Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly? But no, the same way that a lot of people, excuse me, did not know where Don Russell come from. You ain't been here that long. Oh my God, you did this or whatever over there. You was heard on the phone talking to the Savages. All that shit, right? That gave those ops, I'm going to have to call them ops, the upper hand to use all of that against Don Russell. Now they had some news of a mishap that Don Russell had done to himself, and I'm still going to believe that it was done on the behalf of trying to go to the extreme to help Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. But the ops saw differently. They took what happened to him and used that against him, starting from Drunken Larry. If I'm not mistaken, he was the first one that dropped that paperwork of the indictment. He was the first one. I believe he kind of knew first, oh my God, this dumb has gotten himself in trouble, blah, blah, blah. After that, you had Bookham run with it for quite some time. Okay? But I can't understand, good morning, Brenda, how is it that everybody that sits over there under the umbrella of Bookham and asks these questions about, where did Don the Con come from? Oh, Don the Con stole the money, or this or this or that. But they didn't ask Bookham where he came from and who pushed him in. They settled for his story about, that was my mentee. That was my mentee. They liked that story better. There wasn't any very important questions that was really asked by his people. They just like him. They like the way he put it down. When Don Russell came out, I'm going to say it again. He said that he had to talk. I'm sure it was verified out here. I'm sure it was, because I don't believe that there will be another young lady who people can really tell that is pretty much up front, right? Don't tolerate no bullshit. Says that she can easily, hear the lies or whatever, which was Texas Black Diamond. So he was invited over there too. He was invited over on Nick at Night. He was also invited on Toxic Diamond show. And his story never changed either. Just like they hollering and screaming that, Bookham stories never changed. Don Russell's story never changed. Not one single word. He just told you guys. He opened up to what I believe he thought was people for Mr. Kelly. That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking, you know. But he told everybody, yeah, he heard what had happened, so he went there, which allowed him to have access to the camp because him and Mr. Kelly was also friends. And Mr. Kelly's door was a revolving door. People came in and tied themselves to Mr. Kelly. You guys remember that story that he dropped about the cigar bar. Remember that story? He talked about the cigar bar. And he talked about, you know, how things was going on up in there and everything. And the news people kind of showed up and they were outside. They were outside, remember that? After that story, who came out behind him? And I believe, if I can remember, it was the Will Eady. That's what I remember. Okay. He told everybody that he tried to work with Greenberg with the orders coming from Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly himself. But the other guy over there told y'all that's not true. He ain't never talked to him. He don't know. He don't know. He don't know. Don Russell also stated that you will learn about the Cheryl Max and the Joan, what's her name, Lennon or Joan Lennon or something like that. He would tell you, he told you guys that, you know, the tape and all of these things was retrieved by Sparkle and Barry Hankerson, and they sent these things in because they stole them, you know, they stole them. Got them there. Everything that Don Russell came out to share with everybody, in case people notice, these are some things that Bookham couldn't share with nobody. Bookham didn't know about Mr. Kelly finances. Bookham couldn't tell you guys how and who and when in details the way Don Russell was sharing with everybody. Sullivan, thank you, boo. Yeah. Nobody asked themselves, well, why not? You were close. You were in there. You were the dog. You were the mentee. But for some apparent reason, I couldn't understand. Well, why come Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly wouldn't share these things, you know, with this guy? These are just my questions to me right now, you guys. But this man here is out here with a whole bunch of detailing information. What do I believe? Yes, I believe that, in my opinion. This is my belief, and nobody can take that away from me. I believe that he was in there with the request coming from Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. Go figure out. Help me figure out, well, who's doing this? Who's settling all of these checks and things up underneath me? Because, you know, they basically probably had the authorization to do so because they were all working up under the umbrella of him. But until Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly decided to wait a minute, you know, where is all my money going? He cuts it off. People gets angry. And these people that got angry came from inside of his camp. Is it possible, I ask myself, for people that's coming from inside the camp to come out here and recruit, to speak to people, to pay people in advance, to keep up one hell of a goddamn distraction while we try to continue doing what we're doing? This is all what I need you guys to do. Don Russell been around. He's been on several platforms. He had no holds barred on anything, pretty much. Sharing it all with what I believe he thought was Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's supporters. He got into the bed with the Sharon Windbushes. He got into the bed with quite a few people that he should have not. After listening to a video, I asked myself, well, wow, interesting, you know, because, well, Bookham and Toxic Diamond apparently is kind of close. But Toxic Diamond ran a whole interview on Don Russell. And she never came back to say what she believed. She wanted Don Russell to come back to finish the Q&A. But he never did. My guess is because he kind of started watching out here and noticed that, whoa, well, wait a minute, you're kind of close to Book. So I think that he just decided to decline that. I don't know that to be true, but I think that he decided to decline it because he kind of saw who was working who. Or is that the time that Bookham decided to befriend Toxic Diamond? Something to make you say, He saw Don Russell over there, and now all of a sudden, Bookham and Toxic Diamond became good friends because Bookham had to get in over there to her too. What did he say? What did he say? Nah, this is how it happened. He ain't shit. He didn't come in. He doing this. He played you for a few. All that goddamn malarkey ass bullshit to do whatever it was. But who was the first one that came out to say that he is the reason for the federal indictment? When everybody out here clearly saw and can hear why Mr. Kelly's case moved to the federal in New York. It was them goddamn girl. It was the goddamn ass. It was the interstate commerce. It was that type of stuff that really got that case moved up there. I don't think that they had expected that because nobody expected for Azarel to turn. That's just my observation. When it turned, it went federal to New York. Had it not turned, and all of these moles that came from up inside of Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's camp and stayed in New York, I believe that they thought, or they were thinking, to have ran that trial down there and ended it quickly, and they all just moved on with their lives because their goal was to, oh, you stop the money, or you ain't pay us this time, or you're doing this, or you're doing that, then we're going to get you back. That's what I believe. I do. We saw the Will Eady guy come out. Haven't seen him out much anymore. But I do recall with all of the back and forth and things that Will Eady never said anything or shut Bookham down about anything. So that will make us believe that Bookham is not lying. Junebug never came out to shut Bookham down about anything. So that will lead us to believe that Bookham is not lying. None of the guys that was in his camp that was allegedly some moles never comes out to shut him down. But when Don Russell came out, I asked myself, well, was now Bookham ordered down to attack on Don Russell, attack on Don Russell, attack on Don Russell? That's just my assumption. That's just my assumption under my observation. It is. Mr. Kelly is going to have one hell of a case to fight in Chicago because their distraction plan, it actually kind of worked. It detoured everybody to New York, and a lot of people forgot about Chicago, the things that were said. You forgot about all of the information that Don Russell did drop. He dropped. So it may seem to us or those people over there that, oh my God, it's Don Khan. He's telling on R. Kelly. He said that, oh my God, that there was this, and if I had the tapes and this or this or that. Me, I believe that Don Russell was actually telling us that, giving us a lot of the details of what Mr. Kelly is going to be up against in Chicago. That's just my observation. It's just my observation. I'm going to play a quick video, And this is just my opinion under my observations. I believe that there is a head of the captain that's out here. I'm not saying that it's Will Eady, but then again, I'm saying that that's just my observation. I believe that Bookham somewhere got in through Will Eady. That's just my observation. I don't know that to be true. That's just my opinion. I believe that once Bookham got in, it was showtime. I think that it was showtime out here on these streets. I don't and I never will believe that he was in there for Mr. Kelly. I believe that a check or some cash, whichever way you want to do it, allowed him to carry out this act, to manipulate these people out here, to recruit as many as he can. Why do you say that, Papoose? Because at that time, Mr. Kelly was going through some things. 2017, under investigation. 2018, 2019, Mr. Kelly gets indicted. 2017, 2018, you don't hear nothing about pretty much anything on these YouTube streets. It's just when they went down there to pick him up and handcuffed him in front of that Trump Tower is when you start hearing the distractions. Oh, la, 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 la. Or I'm for him and I'm not for him. And you all don't know and I was there. But yet then the guy that's saying that he was there and that's his guy apparently just didn't know remotely none of the shit that Don Russell was dropping out here. You guys wouldn't have known about what was going on with the way they was moving his money or paying these freaking debts. That Bookham didn't talk about that. He didn't talk about who was getting paid. He didn't talk about that till after he heard it out here on the streets. But that's just my observation. It's just my observation. It's just my observation. He turned the YouTube streets pretty much against him. Truth be told, when this gets to the end of the road, I think that there's going to be a lot of people slapping themselves in the face because they followed the wrong motherfucker. That's just my observation. It is. It's just my observation. I do believe that he had a role to play. Mr. Kelly's in trouble 2019. He knows that Mr. Kelly's in trouble in 2019. I lay with my eyes closed last night just for about 20 minutes to recollect on some things after hearing the Him Two girls come out, Shabazz come out. Dr. Rice had his statement. Dr. Rice had her things going on. She talked. They all talked. 2019, he was well aware that Mr. Kelly had some things going on. And I questioned myself. He knew that this man had some things going on, including Mr. Kelly himself, but right now he's vulnerable. Knows that he's under this big old investigation out there, so you know what? It's possible, yes. He needed some people around. I needed some people around. But how does, nobody answers the question, how is it that this boy really got in this damn camp close to Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly? And I keep asking myself, well, who were the moles up in here? And I keep going back to all of them freaking videos with Don Russell on it. I do. I go over them a lot. Well, Will Eady was up in there, the June bugs and all of that. I think that it's possible that he had contacted them saying, you know, you guys need some help. Woo, woo, woo. Got himself on up in there that way. Because whoever that they would trust, most likely, with Mr. Kelly not knowing what's going on, pretty much until Don Russell stepped in the scene and enlightened him what was going on. He pretty much, if you cool with him, I guess I'm cool with him. Not knowing that all of these people were really up under there digging and grabbing a whole bunch of information that they possibly can about him. Well, to get it into put it in whatever safe that they had until it was the right time to get it into some hands that they think that it needed to go into. I asked myself, why wouldn't Greenberg work with Don Russell? Do you know that there would have not been any problems out here with the deflection or the tear down of the Don Russell for them if only Greenberg would have just worked with him? We could have all seen where this went, but Greenberg didn't choose Donnell Russell. He chose Daryl Johnson. Chose Daryl Johnson. Don Russell told everybody how that even went down, but did anybody go and do their fact checking on that? I'm going to have to say that I agree with the way Don Russell said that it went down, because we all saw Daryl Johnson with his whole episode going on Tasha K, where those people came to take him down for taking money. How is it that Donnell Russell knows that Daryl Johnson got paid quite a bit of money with that Gayle King show and a whole bunch of other shit? And allegedly it was told that, that Daryl Johnson and Greenberg might have split some money on that. It's just my observation. That's just me, in my opinion. But now we sit here today, yesterday, the day before, or whatever, and we can all come to the conclusion that, yes, one, it was all about some money. Two, yes, that there were some moles inside Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly cap. Three, yes, Don Russell came out and dropped bombshells out here. Four, here come the goddamn distractions about everything. I don't think those people over there really have a reason to hate Donnell Russell all because of his words. They hate Donnell Russell because of Bookham words, who has yet verified nothing about this damn shit show and about Mr. Kelly's situation. Nothing. No, he pops you guys out pieces of paper about showing you guys everything about Don Russell's freaking indictment. And then he led out here to tell you guys that Donnell Russell was going to take the stand against Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly and take a plea. But that did not happen. That did not happen. In other words, in my opinion, under my observation, Bookham ran everybody out here a whole bunch of goddamn poppycock, just to tear that man down. Because that man, in my opinion and in my observations, and you're going to hear that quite a bit because it's just my opinions and my observations, that man was the truth out here. It was the truth. There was nothing for him to take. What do I believe about the intellectual property that he grabbed hold of? Had to get it before all those moles was getting it, because they was coming for it. Oh, they were coming for it. That's just my observation, though. My opinion. Good morning, child. They were coming. They were coming. Nobody knows if it's true or not. All of the people told you guys that it wasn't true. The ones that is fighting against each other. The ones that is keeping up a whole bunch of shit. See, those people told you guys that he's not supposed to have it. Not supposed to have it. That's what they told you. The people that you guys are watching now with all of this goddamn deflection and interaction of these, y'all know what I'm talking about. Those people told y'all he wasn't supposed to have it. People that wasn't even in his camp or had not even been around him told y'all that Don Russell wasn't supposed to have it. But yet then the man that tells you guys that I was there, I had these words with this, and because the Bookham show comes out to tell you that he wasn't there, he never been there. How could you even fix your mouth to say that? When he's running down every freaking detail of when it happened, how it happened, and everything, showing you guys everything, but he ain't showed you shit. He ain't showed you shit. He ain't showed you how he paid for a bus with his credit card, but he came out there to tear that down, to move some shit. Everybody fell for that. Everybody fell for that. But he knew, according to his admission, he knew a lot of this, of that, of this, of that about Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, but he wasn't there to help Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly to the extreme of what I believe, in my opinion, and my observation of what Donnell Russell went through. I'm just saying, why not? Why did he stick his head out like a giraffe? and get it cut off? Why not? Why did he chose to stay, in the position that he was in? Hands clean. Hands clean on everything. Take it a step further because I'm getting ready to get the hell up out of here today. Let's talk about the fan group. You knew that man, in my opinion, probably shouldn't have had these people around. Nobody. I still question myself, but self. Wait a minute, though. Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, okay, this type of fan group, right? I got real messed up, though, last night, y'all, in the head, because it still was not answered, and everybody was like, well, how in the heck did that girl get down there? I saw her on the show a little bit last night, then I clicked it off and I went to bed. I try not to go over there at all. She kept saying that Bookham brought her. Over and over and over. She kept saying that Bookham brought me. You would bring a young lady down there, but how and who else does this girl know? Well, on the Him Too show, it was said by Siobhan. I'll quote and try to quote it. Angela was sending her some money, and Bookham knew about that. He left that part out, though. I don't know how true that is. I'm just quoting. Angelo sent some money down there, to Jasmine. And Bookham knew all about that phone call. Sharon Siobhan said she was standing right there. Bookham was standing right there. Now, why would Bookham know about a phone call, I asked myself, of some money being sent to Jasmine through Angelo? But yet then they tell you that there are no connections to Bookham and Angelo. What did he say? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, Chicago's going to be a pretty tough rodeo. It really is. And in my opinion, in my observation, it's because of the moles that was still left there in his camp. Probably already done retrieved whatever it is that they thought that they can get to use against Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, because Mr. Kelly actually opened his eyes and shut camp down. Yeah, I think they got mad. But that's just my opinion and my observation. That's all. I be listening. I be writing. I be listening and I be writing. Bookham has contradicted himself 1,000 trillion times out here, but he wants to play the smart cap, the valedictorian. He wants to be the valedictorian out here, not knowing that a lot of people out here remember what you say and things like that. But he will not answer that question. What date that Mr. Kelly actually called him up to say, hey, I need you down here? Who brought you down there? My observation tells me that somehow he got in touch. Or whatever. With the Will Edie's and them people, or they got in touch with him. I don't know. Probably saw him out all over, hey, you want to do this and do that. That's just my observation and my opinion. That's it. And things just took off for the worse. And then you had one guy come out here, just one, and the whole goddamn YouTube, under the authority of Bookham, just went in on him. Don the con. I think that a lot of people are going to be slapping themselves in the face because Don Russell, everything that he said, it came to light. You found out about Daryl Johnson. You found out about the situation or whatever with Greenberg. You saw Greenberg dealings with the Bookham people over there, with the Bookham administration. You saw you literally have seen everything that man called out. I was shocked though to hear that the old prima donna was part of the Him Too. Did y'all hear that? Because I was like, no shit. What you say? And then the other lady too that was on Bookham show called, I think her name is Denise or something. Really? Prima donna didn't tell. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that prima donna used to be in the Him Too group? Had with her membership. But she changed faces. moved on, doing her own different thing. Doing her own different thing. The only thing, like I say, that is weird with, to me is that she's able to figure out everybody else's shit. And, but yet then she still just doesn't run the timeline about Bookham. And I get it because she says that for what? He ain't part of the indictment. He wasn't in there, but I'm going to have to beg the pardon on that until she goes all the way back and start digging with how did he really get in there and who was he really connected to instead of falling for that goddamn I was the mentee bullshit. That's just me. That was a bombshell, girl. What? So that explains why, Queen, why she has it a little bit advantage of skeletoscoping a lot of her stuff. That will explain why she was able to have that jump start, because she was already hearing names and conversations and stuff that was going on in that group, in the Him Too group. That would explain that. Because other than that, she would have simply had such a very hard time figuring out all of this stuff like everybody else. It came easy to her. Those name droppings and things like that, to go look here and to go look there, they were already out in that group. That's just my opinion and my observation. You think they forgot Jasmine said Angelo had given old boy $5,000? Jasmine mama was looking for her. Maybe so. I'm just saying, it was crazy. This whole week has been, atrocious. It's just been crazy. It's going to be some slaps in the faces out here. It's going to come to an end. Or all of these people who was moling out, who has taken from this man, stripped him down bare naked financially. Bitter, mad because he cut it off. Bitter, mad at Donnell Russell. Because when Donnell Russell stepped on these streets out here, he cut it off. Donnell Russell cut off the money, goddamn it, lifeline on the YouTube streets. He did. All hell went loose. All hell broke loose out here behind Donnell Russell. Because he was dropping nothing but bombshells about how all the way from up there with the Barry Hankerson and shit to all the way down. Telling everybody about, watch out. These distractions are out here. They're there. They ain't tell you, I ain't worried about that boy over there. That's what he said. He wasn't going to stop no show. And he didn't. Because Don Russell was still dropping them bombshells, but every time he dropped one, here come this person. And I'm asking myself, but why are you retaliating against this person like this? I used to ask myself, when this man is just giving his analogy to the people out here, to Mr. Kelly supporters, that, hey, this is doing this is doing that. And what we are trying to do is figure out how we can help him. Whether it was financially, he was trying to, get these attorneys and everything. I ain't never heard Bookham say shit about, getting the best of the freaking attorneys for his mentee. I've never heard it. Maybe he said it and I might have missed the show. I can't be sure. But why would this man over here be so pressed about getting Mr. Kelly the best of the freaking attorneys out here, but this man over here was not? Make it make sense to me. I couldn't understand that. I just couldn't understand it. Why is it that this guy's story over here is always on the offensive side towards anybody that is for him? It's weird. Couldn't understand that. I've never heard that this guy over here saying, you know what, that they right, what they support in their wrong way. It was everything that he had to say was supposed to have been right. And everything that everybody else was saying that remotely sounds like it's for Mr. Kelly is wrong. Something wasn't right to me. At least say, well, half of it, because from what we heard last night with him too, that he told half of the story about this whole meet and greet thing with this goddamn tour bus. So he told half of the story, which is his norm, but that's just my opinion and my observation. It's just my opinion and my observation. Chicago is going to be one hell of a rodeo. It really is. Because I asked myself, well, how much did they get away with of their shit? Nobody knows. And I think, in my opinion and observation, that this is why that they will continue to do what they do out here. Make it appear that we're not worried about it because he's got to come back to Chicago and nobody knows what we're doing and how we're doing it and what we have. I just pray that everybody out here continue to keep their eyes open. Keep your eyes open. There's nothing much that we can do because we don't run the trial. We're not, we're not there. I'm not involved. You guys are not involved. I believe so, Daz. And I'm gonna have to stamp that too with 100%. I believe that it's gonna be a lot of the Don DeCon people. They're going to be slapping themselves in the face. They do. They are. I do believe so. My observation once again. As they say, Daz, some people don't know the truth if it slapped you in the face. Clean up on aisle 9 at the flea market. Here go you and Shannon. Okay. Let me play this. And then I'm going to go. There's a lot for everybody to keep going back and going back, but a lot of people don't. We're just hearing what we hear today. But in order to have an execution plan, you literally have to keep going back and keep putting everything into play. You got to keep putting everything into play. What happened to those people that was around Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly for real, for real? What really happened after Donnell Russell was down there to help pick up and escort Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly? When y'all saw, I played the video, several people played the video with the helicopters and everything. See, that was the advantage that Bookham kind of had over Donnell Russell. When you saw Donnell Russell clearly, Mr. Kelly's hand on him and they're walking out. They're in this, they're traveling in Chicago, making their way over to that McDonald's. See, that that painted a picture that Donnell Russell was the mole, because you can clearly see him in the picture. That was an easy way to change the image to the people that he was the mole up in there. He was the one standing there with his hands in his pocket and watching and waiting with the rest of the people. But here's what got me. Because in that video, Good Morning Scorpio, you didn't just see Donnell Russell. There were several other people with Donnell Russell. And then you guys know the video that I'm talking about, right? Yes. Y'all know the video that I'm talking about. So somebody's going to have to explain to me as to how is it that Bookham can only say just that one person, but he left out all of the other people. What exactly do you know about the other people that you knew about Don Russell? Why wouldn't he group them all together? There was a whole bunch of guys standing out there in that freaking parking lot, in that McDonald's parking lot, under that helicopter. There was a lot of them. But you only picked out Don Russell. I find that very weird. When everybody can come to the conclusion that everybody was allegedly stealing from Mr. Kelly and doing hideous things. But he only singled out Don Russell as the mole. I couldn't understand that all the way back from when I dropped that video. Some things I'm like sitting here like, well, okay. But it was one of the things that also made me say, no. See, you can't just pick one and all the rest of them is cool. Don't work that way. Especially when we are learning that somebody up in there was doing things to Mr. Kelly, whether it was robbing his money or eating up his food or doing whatever the case. But he only picked out Don Russell. And with me, that was a fucked up ass mistake to do. That was a fucked up mistake to do. So is it that maybe, the other moles decide to say, well, listen here, we just gonna plan everything on this nigga because he's coming out to speak now. Had he been quiet, and Don Russell would have never spoken, right? Do you think that he would be having these stories to tell you about Don the Con? Do you think so? Nah, he wouldn't have. No. But Don Russell decided, well, let me find out what's going on. And I think that in my observation, in my opinion, that he dug pretty deeply in this shit to find out, oh, this is where you come from, Bookham. And keep in mind, because Bookham got heated up when Don Russell showed up, I believe probably a second time or whatever, because according to Jasmine that, he wasn't there that first time. So Jasmine had already been there before Don Russell, I guess, or whatever, in this whole gym situation. But Don Russell's like, okay, this girl has to go. I couldn't understand how someone is infuriated about a person who appeared to be trying to protect Mr. Roberts' interests with females that may look young or appear to be young. Okay? But to him to clarify that up by validating and saying was no, her ID stuff was checked. So she was all good. Okay? But yet then, if her age and things checked out, simply the story should have ended, in my opinion. Okay, well, I guess. And whatever words that Mr. Kelly would have had with that girl or whatever, it would have been just suitable because she was of age. It wouldn't have mattered if she'd have sucked his penis or rubbed his back because she was of age. So it wasn't no big old thing about that. But however, it ruffled his feathers that Donnell Russell was trying to do something in the best interest of Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. Mr. Kelly spoke because these were my fans, and he's down there just as vulnerable as I don't know what. Don Russell throws up his hand. Fine, dude, I am out of it. Whatever. That's what he says. That's according to his admission, Don Russell's, right? But then Don Russell is gone. And look what happened. A whole bunch of other shit have been played out after behind that. Now, had she left after Don Russell tried to help her leave, maybe it wouldn't have been no big old Jasmine story out here to this extent. However, you can kind of tell that with the detailing information that you get from Dr. Rice or Shabazz and others out here that what? Fine, I'm paid to run this fucking game. And I can make money into it. Because I could tell people that my phone bill is $40, $800, $1,200 or whatever. And these people want my story. And I'm supposed to run along with this. I'm even getting money from Angelo Clary. And Bookham knows about it. She cool. She great. And the story goes on that, the Airbnbs. She ended up there. But she ended up there with Bookham. That's a very interesting story. It's very interesting, It's weird, but it happened. All was preventable situations. This was a preventable situation had Mr. Kelly literally hey, okay, fine, send her home. But at that time, I get it. I'm vulnerable. I want to, let me meet these people. Let's talk about just for a second about this thing with Sylvia, because yesterday we figured, oh my God, Sylvia got her butt in some hot grease here. Here's what I'm thinking with that as well. Just my opinion and my observation. I do think that in order for Bookham to keep his hands clean, I do think that he went on a recruiting escapade. I do. He found his charming way to have people like him, telling them all of these stories fictitiously. Hey, I know him, and do, and they fell for this shit. I do believe that shit. I do, honestly. They started doing all kind of whatever that they needed to do inspecting people and doing this and doing that and doing this. But do I believe that most of this shit was all because of who recruited him and he had to keep it going? Got his hands clean though in it, and that's why he could sit out here and brag about this and do all of this type of woofing and do this and do that, because he made sure that he washed his hand off of everything that he had touched. But that's just my opinion and my observations, you guys. Take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. Chicago is going to be a rodeo. It is. Had Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's supporters, in my opinion, really listened to Don Russell, I really, really, truly think that Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly would have had the support that he truly, truly needed. That he truly, truly needed. I do. But I understand it. You know, oh, he's dropping his paperwork. Oh, he's telling on this. And I specifically said, go and write down all of the shit using your pros and your cons in a column. Write all the shit down about Donnell Russell. And right beside it, if you believe it, don't believe it, believe it, don't believe it. Now go and write all of your shit down about Bookham in your questions. Well, when did you come there? Who brought you there? Who did you know first? Did Mr. Kelly call you up? Did Will? Did Junebug? Who put you down on up? And write those stuff out, and you ask yourself, have you ever heard him answer to these questions? When simply Don Russell told you. I turned around. I heard, he told you step by step. I was there around this day. I came back on this day. I came back on this. He gave everybody his chronological fact sheet. He can't do it, but he did it. Huh? But if this person is so tight and so close with him, well, where is your goddamn timeline sheet at? It's missing. Something ain't right. Donnell Russell told you who all he talked to, who all he tried to call, and this or that. He even showed you that, yeah, he tried. Sharon Winbush was talking to his mama. He came in there. He did that. He told you guys what actually happened afterwards with those freaking taxes. But nobody wanted to do that because of the recruiting that Bookham had done, which allowed Sylvia and them to go over there and to pull some old-ass information about his mother and his license, his mother's license being expired. So that also helped everybody believe, okay, you know what? Don Russell is the con man. But see, that came from up under the umbrella of Bookham, who, goddamn it, just kissed and hugged and with the Sylvia and them group. See, Bookham didn't come out here to tell you guys about those taxes and things. It was Sylvia and them, because he had them to go and do the shit. And then he started coming out, got the paperwork, because the paperwork was going back and forth with the team over there. And he was able to put it down like he solved some shit. Like he knew some shit. I don't think he ever knew it. I don't think so. But that's just my opinion and my observation. So now you have all of these people out there, and they will tell you, Native, that their stories just never change. But everybody can't be right. Everybody can't be right when the stories are different. That's the problem that everybody's having out here on the YouTube street. Everybody can't be right when you have different stories. It just doesn't work that way. You know, like little kids, like the example I gave y'all. 10 of us, we all got different stories about who broke that vase. My mama know that everybody, hold up, somebody in this group is goddamn lying. But you leave it to the bigger platform, which is what he's holding over there. And so it's easy for him to capture, cultivate the people. It was him. It was him. But never once has he gotten up off his butt to really do anything about him over there. He just talks about it. He even jumped into that whole big old fight that came down with the Angelo and them allegedly breaking into the Don Russell car or whatever. He jumped into that. The one over there. Why? Why? No one to pay attention to that. That's you. She's door dashing today. Oh, that's good. I mean, she got a job. She got to pay them bills over there. She got to pay the bills. I don't know. It ain't. It's not that long that you can really hold on to your YouTube family. You know what I mean? That's gonna constantly keep paying money to pay people's rent and things like that. So I don't know, you guys. It's just all weird. But I'm just gonna say this because of my observations and my opinions. I truly think that they tore down or tried to tear down, because right now nobody knows what Don Russell is doing. Didn't take the stand. Nope. I don't think that he was responsible for Mr. Kelly's case to go on federal. I don't think so. I don't see it. But let's just make it appear that he did with the help with Drunken Larry. Because Drunken Larry did that. He followed right on behind Drunken Larry's message after Drunken Larry went to drop these paperwork that Donnell Russell had. It's crazy. But yet then the argument is against a man who clearly showed and tell everybody how he could get his ass up out of some shit and pay, do his own freaking paperwork, to get his money back from what he had to pay in the thing. You say she took the wrong word. To now, I think she did. But that's something that, a person will have to live with, because at the end of the day, it's a big difference in, with supporting Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. There's a level to the game. Sometimes you have to know how truly that it is that you really need to fight, It just baffles me, because they all say, that they were smart. They able to pick up on this and they able to pick up on that. And I get it that she probably had to jump in there to kind of see which way was this and which way was that. I get that shit. And got herself, in a situation that, I'm going to say this to Naya. When you having your home situations, your children, like most of us, all of us, see, you don't go, you just don't go jumping and shit. You got to mind your priorities and kind of, and I'm not saying that, Mr. Kelly should have been left behind. But yet then, you had people, Don Russell, he's bigger than everybody out here. He said that he can handle it. All he need was the people behind him. Nobody wanted that. His story was the same even on Trent. He put the attorneys' names out and everything, but then you had Sharon Winbush come behind him and put her list of attorney names out for her collecting the money. In this video, and I'm not going to play it all, I'm just going to play this one little part that I wanted you guys to hear, but you guys can go on back over there to the Toxic Diamond and listen to Don Russell's whole interview. He told you guys where the tape came from, and he said Sparkle, Carrie, Barry Hankerson, they stole it, they got it, and they did it, and they did it, and they did what they wanted to do. Why isn't Booker mad at Sparkle or Carrie? And I understand that that's his brother, and I totally understand that. But the Chicago case is going to have to go on. And that shit that his brother did and a lot of other people did manifested out here. In the same way that they was able to grab these prosecutors to grab that Texas Black Diamond story with Don Russell because it was sent in, could as well be possible that, that stuff may be grabbed and not going anywhere. Everybody will probably shit their ass if they have to summon that brother up there that said some things. It would be crazy, right? It would be crazy. Let's play this video, just this little smidget, and I'm going to get out of here. But the shit is crazy. It's wild. And it's because of the focus has actually been taken off from where it all started from. There's some main questions, probably irrelevant, but a lot of people really need to ask themselves. That side of the team, I'm convinced, that's their leader. That's their motivator. That's their conqueror. He knows it all, but he ain't told them nothing. Pretty much nothing. Everything about Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly is just about his stories, about how he is the mentee, he's the but, and we did, and but nothing about this man's life. He couldn't tell you guys who was actually stealing from him. Why not? Why did Don Russell tell us that, and why not him? It should have been, to me, important to him too. You ain't finna share this information. I'm gonna tell you why. Because he can't do it now, because there's no way he would chance to remotely have a story that is similar to Donnell Russell. Did y'all follow me on that one? He can't do it now. He wouldn't dare have his stories aligning up to what Don Russell put out here. Oh, he's a good guy. That was the only thing that he can tell the news people down there with the sisters. Oh, he was a good guy. That's it? We don't want to hear that. We want to hear how the hell he got set up. We know that he was set up. I think he might have said that. Okay, so how? Who was it? Who was it? Never said that. No. No. Had a rebuttal to everything that man had to come out to say to show you guys that he was, Don Russell was in defense for Mr. Kelly. They tore it down. What they call him, Don the Con. Well, as they say, give it some time. Gonna be a lot of people slapping their damn selves in the face.
She does deserve a fair break, and I've been trolled by folks and shit, and I don't really give a fuck. It's not the people that I deal with are so high up in life that they don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. But the thing of it is like the Dana Jays of the world and guys like that who, I don't know where the fuck this guy floated in from, but he meant to do harm. It just got disrupted. So he took the visibility he had and turned it into something to make it seem like he's for Rob when he's not. I mean, the Will Edie's and the fucking June Bugs and all the people who have stolen for Rob for years and have contempt. That Will Edie's cousin is married to Sparkle, Sparkle Steve Huff. This shit with these young girls that Will kept slipping in and shit when Rob trusted him to do the right thing, that shit was planned. That was stated. That was planned years ago. I mean, so they've been working to put things, they were taught the system, of how to plant a seed, and the seed was shit. And when it grew out, it was a shit tree, and he was standing up underneath it, like, what the fuck? I mean, so, it's one man fighting an army that he pulled together. It's like, Caesar that went off to the island, he took all his loyal troops, and every last one of them motherfuckers got the gun on him.
That is a scary thought. That is a scary thought, but I respect your position, though.
I'm going to leave it right there. They took that story, and I understand, and made it seem to appear that Don Russell was this mole. I'm hoping, since Don Russell says that, he had the time to speak with Mr. Kelly before they took him on off for the time that he could. The only thing that I hope that Don Russell would have had in his messages, truly I wish he would have had, is him being able to relay to the people how did Bookham actually come about of being friends or associates or his mentee in this camp. I really do wish that he'd have had some of that in his story. Unfortunately, he does not. You say, don't forget the Kip. Yeah, I remember the whole Kip thingy episode. So, there's going to be an ending to this. It really is. There's going to be an ending to it. I do believe that it's going to be a lot of people that's slapping themselves in the face like, dumb me, dumb, 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 dumb. I do. So, I don't know. I think that when it comes to the YouTube streets, in my opinion and my observation, I think that the head lead ringers of this stuff actually came from the people that were in Mr. Kelly's camp. And then it just pushed out here. And then everybody has a story to tell or so. Should there have been a fan club bus at that time of need? I do. I saw nothing wrong with it. But the way that fan group thing played out, yes, it just makes it look just wow. Like wow. That's what it makes. It looks like wow. Who authorized, my last question before I go, is this 1022? Who authorized, and I asked the question in the Him Too chat last night, because Shabazz says that Bookham, he says that he was, scounging on Facebook. Saw Bookham. Oh, well, Bookham is on here with all of his information about, or talking about how close he is, and he's the mentor, he's in, with Mr. Kelly. What does Shabazz do? Get in touch with Bookham through Facebook. Bookham goes on to say that he contacted him. Shabazz contacted him. Shabazz contacted Bookham. At that time, Bookham gave Shabazz the address to the Airbnb where everybody was at. This is one puzzling. I'm going to tell y'all, because this shit here, this is the part that I literally went to sleep, closing my eyes, just trying to play this out in my head. And I'm saying, okay. So Bookham gives Shabazz the address to the Airbnb. This is when they decided, Shabazz throws the proposition to them about doing some documentary filming. The filming was supposed to be showing parts in defense for Mr. Kelly's lifestyle. Little things, say what you want to say about Mr. Kelly. So I asked myself, after Bookham had gave Shabazz the address and stuff to come to this Airbnb, was Mr. Kelly there? Did Mr. Kelly authorize these people to join in to do a documentary on his behalf? That was what my question was when I went to bed. Good morning, Rita. Did Mr. Kelly authorize this through Bookham to give out an address to Shabazz for these people to do a documentary on his behalf? Was he there? Did he know anything about this? Second of all, he bitched and moaned about how he gave Sylvia the address to this gym. He bitched and moaned about that. That was a problem. He didn't expect for her to give the address to Jasmine, the young lady who, after the gym or whatever, when they got hungry, ended up in the same hotel with him. Huh? Make that shit make sense. How is it that you bitched and moaned about Sylvia, you getting the address to Sylvia, who yet then turns around to give it to Jasmine when you specifically told Sylvia what to throw it away? Well, you look at an address, you have that numerical shit stored in your head, so it wouldn't have mattered. She'd throw it away. She'd have been there. She knew it by her. But he said that he told her she was supposed to throw it away. Throw what away? When everybody's sitting up here with a memory. He wasn't supposed to. She wasn't supposed to pass it on to Jasmine. That was a no-no. He wasn't aware, So Mr. Kelly questioned that. Well, who are these people? When Mr. Kelly questioned that, according to Bookham's admission, why wasn't shit shut down? Y'all got to go. No, everybody just kept running on with it. Jasmine ends up in the hotel or the Airbnb or whatever to feel uncomfortable, come out here to tell a story that she was uncomfortable and she got pressured into a situation that she didn't want to really be in. But I can't understand how is it that he's pissed at Sylvia for passing along a goddamn address that allowed Jasmine to be there, that also allowed him to have his moment to sleep with her. But yet then, you not mad at yourself for passing on an address which these people out here don't even know if it was approved or not through Mr. Kelly to invite Shabazz in to do a documentary on Mr. Kelly. But yet then it's a documentary that was supposed to happen that he opted out of. Allowed Sylvia and them to run their little parts in it. Kept his hands clean. You kept your hands clean, bruh. You kept your hands clean. I may be off a little bit with my observations and my opinion. But these just my observations and opinion. You was okay with letting Shabazz in. The man who ran an as-is entertainment production with Azrael and her, and knowing that Angelo had his hands in this as-is because it was something about the money being transferred. Remember that? Well, and I want this cut off of this and this your cut and this my cut, this your cut, this your cut. With the same woman who Shabazz has a story with about transporting Jasmine and shit all the way over from North Carolina, from Detroit to North Carolina, to all this shit. The same girl. The same girl. I'm just saying. That was some weird shit. But you ain't mad at this. You ain't mad at him. The same man who put a, in my opinion, biased documentary out here. The same man who was up in that man's house, digging in the box, pretending that he don't know how to stop a fight, arguing with the security guard saying that we here on behalf of Azrael. We here to protect her. In another man's house. You have a problem. You ain't clown that man about that, but he clowns Donnell Russell. Yeah. I don't think I ever heard him come out to say, Shabazz, you was wrong, or you did this, or you did that. What the fuck are you doing up in my minty house? And we said, I don't recall no episode on that at all. You invited that man, according to Shabazz's admission of it. And then you agreed, you said it on your show that, yeah, you know, you called him up, you gave him, Shabazz, the address to the Airbnb. Next thing we hear out here that there's a proposition about a goddamn documentary show. Was Mr. Kelly there? Was he aware that there was about to be some filming because you brought him there to hit you guys with the proposition? You were okay with everybody else running their little parts up in here, but you keep your claim. That's how you you opted out. Nah, I can't be a part of this. I can't be a part of this. But you brought him there. Why wouldn't you be a part of it? You brought him there. I'm just saying, you guys. That was just my little observation and stuff that I spent 20 minutes in my sleep, you know, laying down, and the rest of it I had to wash it off. Okay, you know, go to sleep. It'll be another day. It is what it is. Everything that has taken place, you know, you can't untake it. It's there. You can't untake it. No. After him too come out and they said they little piece of whatever what she had to say, Siobhan, about Sylvia. You know, I don't know that truth. She said she was there. They gave money on this and they gave money on that to Sylvia. Somehow they don't believe that the money was, you know, what it was supposed to do. I don't know. That's true, Ida. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. So, to give the benefit of the doubt, maybe he is for this man. It's just that he won't take accountability for all the ratchet ass shit that he has done around this man to prove to everybody. Maybe it was done to prove to everybody that I am who I say I am and I have been there and this is my mentee and you guys don't know what you're talking about. Isn't that crazy? Bro. But, however, the show must continue on. This is something that can't stop. This is something that people are not going to lay down their swords, their guns. They're going for the gusto on this. They are, and it is, it is what it is. I'm with the Will Edie with Mr. Kelly. He needs prayers. I'm with that. And I'm going to continue to pray that all of these people that were up in there, when it come to, these, I guess, the June bugs and the Will Edie's and all of these people, wasn't there to harm these people. I'm gonna keep praying on that. I am. I really hope that it wasn't that way. Because everybody, like he said, you smoked my stogie. You did this. I let you use cars or whatever and this or this or that. I believe that all of them up in there, when it came to these young ladies, that they letting Mr. Kelly take the whole 100% rap when it comes to these ladies. I do believe that there were some men or whatever up in his camp or whatever that shared some ass as well. I do. I really do. But that's just my opinion and my observation. Thank you guys for joining today. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just my opinions and observation. Me, on the other hand, I pray that Mr. Kelly comes up out of this mess with nothing but grace and joy and to continue on with the rest of his life as to whatever journey he is going to decide to take. And that's it and that's all. That's it and that's all. That's my only fight that I really have in here, because so much has been done. So many people has gotten inside of our heads out here on the YouTube streets that has everything in such a disarray. It's crazy. So it's basically up to you to, like they say, follow who you want to follow, believe what you want to believe. And I have that right as well to believe what I want to believe. Had that boy not kept up a shit show over there and contradict and do the most and do the, no. Basically, it kind of goes for a lot of people who felt that they had to be out here to be the super fanatic fan. Like they were the ones that was going to be standing in that courtroom to try Mr. Kelly's innocence. I had no interest in those people at all like that. I'm going to sit out here and laugh at you, but I had no interest in here to have my pom-poms behind anybody because I'm not a follower. No. I came to follow the story. I came to say, free R. Kelly, like most of you people have done. Not to be out here as a fanatic freaking fan. At this time, I don't think that he needed a fanatic fan. He needed people that knew his shit and was going to help put his story out here, the right way without the mess. Some of the right way may have been off cue a little bit, but the right way. Humble, connecting your dots as well as you possibly can with no mixture of this goddamn clown ass shit show. And we saw some clown ass shit show out here. And that's crazy. Y'all have a good day. I'm about to go do my day. I don't know what to have for lunch, though, today, y'all. I don't know. Book 'em. You can't clown this body. There's nothing wrong with my feet, boo-boo. Nothing. Nothing. And Pap ain't ugly by a long shot, boo-boo. No, I don't have fupa, honey. I don't have fupa. No. 5'2.5". And I'm good. You can best to believe that. I had to laugh, y'all. He went to play my video at the end, right? And I was like, you really finna try to clown that? Obviously, you don't know how it is with the goddamn African braids when they would pull your hair You don't see no railroad in my head today, though, boo. But why you ain't talking about the part today? Let me explain to these people about why you don't see a part book in case you need to know. Because, and this is no shade to anybody, but our black Americans out here now, they either have became Becky with the long hairs, which require you to stitch it because it's already done grown. Okay, so don't misunderstand that. Don't misunderstand that because Papoose chooses to just keep the authenticity of herself with the nappy head and all that stuff. You have the advantage to try to talk about my appearance because I'm sure going to talk about your orange head ass when I feel like it, so I understand that. That's cool. But see, Pap don't wear the wigs. So wigs don't have parts in them. And most of you young ladies sitting over there, I'm guaranteeing you that the most of you guys are over there looking like Becky with the long hair. And that's because most of your black men out here has gotten away from the naturality of a woman. But I remember back then, in them years ago, where the black women were so angry at the white women for having the blue eyes and the long ass hair down to their back because they was stealing your nigga. I remember those days. I went through that. I saw that era and I just sat back and watched it. Never joined into it, boo. Pap ain't never been in a shop to get a wig. No shade to my women out here because I understand what perfecting yourself as you get older. I get all of that stuff. I'm talking about one Pap because he needs to be educated a little bit on this. When I tell you you're going to have to try to clown me on something way better than what you do, nigga, you are nowhere on my mental level of thinking. You're the one caught up in all of that shit. Yeah, but them braids you talk about, yeah, it was about $200 and some on there. Probably could have got a little bit cheaper, but I like my girl and I like supporting her when I can. When they braid them shit, yeah, they tight and they will pull your hair. But as your hair is growing underneath, your hair will spread. It will come down. It doesn't stay there because the hair is moving down. But you wouldn't understand that. You not just yet. I have to wait till you start putting a few more wigs and braids on your hair. I have nothing against anybody that chooses to change or choose things to make them change to perfect themselves. But I'm just explaining to you why you won't see parts on some of these women out here. But I am at some point, I do get a little frustrated with our black women because we used to talk bad. I used to hear so much about Becky with the long hair and the blue eyes. But as the era changed, and if you really look outside your mirror, if look out there, y'all, look out there for real, we have become Becky's with the long hair because we feel like our black men chose that beautification. That's not a word, but I like it. Beautification in their eyes. So we had to now go and duplicate what they were doing and how they are with Becky with the long hair to bring our black men back interested into us. It's a sad situation that it happened that way, but it did. It did. I asked and questioned myself, what makes all of our black women want to walk around all day with this hair down to their butts? I couldn't understand that. But it brings back the attention to us. Because we don't want all of our black men to leave us to go holler at Becky with the long hair. Somewhere, I think that there's a lot of women now that can raise their hand up and say, Becky with the long hair was sharp. She was cute. Because you saw what she was able to pull with the light skin and all of that stuff. So we became that. We became Becky with the long hair. Becky with the long hair now has become big booties. They got the butts. Y'all got the long hair. I understand all of that shit. So you can rag on me because I'm sure gonna rag when I freaking feel like it. My identity didn't change into a boy. You chose an identity to change you into half of a woman when you feel like it. So you have to ask yourself who's fucked up in the head. Because I'm not a boy. I don't portray to be a boy. I don't shave my hair off and fade it and put the designs in it. You don't see me over here rocking the whole basketball gym gear. I will rock the hell out of some Nike Air Max because those are my favorite. I don't have the identity crisis, bruh. So I could put a part over here. I could do this over there. I could put a big bow up here and wear a wig. I can put the tissue in here to fluctuate and make these more perky. But that still makes me a woman. I'm doing woman things. You the one with the identity meltdown crisis over there. You've taken your manhood and mixed it with women features. And you want to talk. That's why I can sit back and continue to fucking laugh at you. That's why. And you just really seem to not get it. You just do not get it. You're funny. Do what you do. But you done already crisscrossed. You done already crisscrossed out here in the public. There is nothing that you can do or say to hurt my feelings. You have to understand that. Not when I done seen you in some cowboy boots and a skirt and shit getting up off of the toilet with another nigga coming in on the goddamn scene. I don't give a shit if it was a character acting. Ain't yo. Oh my God, it was funny. I got to go, y'all. Have a beautiful day. I'll be back later on. I may not be having ladies' night this Saturday. I'm going to shoot down and check out my mom. I need to go visit my mom. I have not been there this whole winter. So I may. I'm on my way, sis. Bye. So I'm up. You ain't gonna beat me there. I can promise you that. I'm on my way. But it's crazy. It's crazy. All they could do is just try to learn this darn defamation and want to talk about you and this or this or that. But what y'all got, I got too. I can shoot it right on back. I got the same bullets that y'all got out here. And that's crazy. I got the same weapon. Beauty, Priscilla, Mama's, Harlem. I know Galatians will come in and say that, oh, she didn't get a notification, and that's cool. All of you guys, Priscilla, Shannon, for you guys that comes regular to the channel, shout out to you guys, Empress, Riri, Rolanda, have Trevin, who else do we have? AP. So, those are the kind of non-regulars, but they do jump in here. So, all of the people in the blue, I appreciate you. All the people that are in green, I appreciate you. If you have not become a green perk member, please consider joining the channel, you guys, because we have some fun over here. Bye-bye, y'all. Have a good day. Da-da-da-da. Yes, I think I'm going to go visit my mom. I think I'm going to go do that. So, with that being said, I'll talk to you guys later.